Hello. I just wanted to share something really cool that just happened and something that I've been practicing for a really long time, which is Wim Hof breathing. And I just held my breath for 3 minutes, and my typical is 2 minutes, sometimes a minute and a half to 2 minutes, but typically around 2 minutes. And my first round I held it for two, the second round I held it for three, and the third round I held it for 2.5. And Wim Hof breathing is basically respiratory alkalosis. So it's bringing in a ton of oxygen into the body and allowing the body to alkalize in that moment, which is why it's called alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis. So on the pH scale, just a little basic chemistry here. Basically, on this end, we have acidity. So these are the lower numbers, like 3 and 4. This is like your vinegar and really strong, really strong acids, like at like a 3, and then like chemical acids. And then we have in the middle is our neutral 7. So that's where where water is at. So that's where we want like our body to be at. I think blood is an 8. And then we have like a 13, I believe it is, or 14 on the other end. And that is going to be like your lye, your drain cleaner, like that kind of stuff. So just a little scale there. So basically we strive to be like between that 7 and 8 in our body. And so when we do this respiratory alkalosis, it starts to neutralize the body. And when we have a lot of pathogens in our body, when we're really stressed out, we're creating stress hormones, which make our body acidic. We can have dis-ease settle into the body. And when it's temporary, it's not that big of a deal. But when it's long term, it can wreak havoc on the system. So this is a wonderful tool to be able to use to alkalize the body. I'm actually going to be coming out with a meditation talking about alkalosis, and it has a lot of visuals in it as well, and how it's cellularly affecting the body. So hopefully I will have that out within the next couple days, the next week. I'm just like going through the last editing of it and getting all those visuals put in for you. So it's something that you can watch and then you can also listen to. And then I will link it in the description of this video once I have it posted. And so the other thing about doing respiratory alkalosis is that I use this for a very specific brain pattern interruption. So for my my brain retraining that I did to come out of over 10 years of severe chronic experiences with diagnosis of Lyme disease and mast cell activation and mold toxicity and sensory processing and so many things. I was able to fully bring myself out, largely in part, my goodness, my throat today, to incorporating this breath work into my practices. And so how I would use this is basically as a pattern interruption, is that when you're going into respiratory alkalosis and you're bringing your body into that state where it's going into like a little bit of shock, which is why the body, if you ever tried Wim Hof or other breath work, the body can feel like it's almost like vibrating or tingly. You might get lightheaded, which is why it's really safe to do it lying down or sitting. And so there's all these like biochemical things that are happening in the body as this process is taking place. Now, this is intentionally putting the body into shock. Like you are in control of putting your body into shock in these experiences. So how I would use this is I actually use this to support myself in getting rid of my food allergies. So I had a lot of food sensitivities, food allergies. I had 2 anaphylactic shocks, and I was reacting to basically everything. I was down to 10 different food items at the lowest part of my experiences. And so I would do a couple rounds of breath work. and I would bring my body into that alkalosis state. As we're doing that breath work, it tells the body that it has to focus on what's going on now. The body is going into shock. It cannot go into those past patterns of behavior that are non-beneficial to you and your wellness. So it has to be paying attention to what's going on now. It says we cannot go into these old patterns of behavior that don't benefit us. We have to survive here and now in this moment. So bringing in all of that oxygen brings the body into that alkalosis state. And in that moment, you have an opportunity to change your patterning. So you can bring intentional focus into what it is that you're creating there. And then you can also allow the body to do something specific. So in this case, I was able to do a couple rounds of breath work, take one bite of the food that I was sensitive to, and then I was able to immediately do another round of breath work because my body was saying, wait a minute, my body learned that it was supposed to respond to these foods in a certain way. It wasn't beneficial to me, but it thought that it was supposed to in order for my survival. And so it just learned a programming that wasn't benefiting me. This wasn't something I was born with. This wasn't something that I had experienced until just it started happening one day, like seemingly out of nowhere. And then it started building and building and building. And then I knew my body could go to another place. So this is super important too. Knowing that if you're experiencing something that you were not born with, that you went many years without experiencing, your body has just learned a pattern of behavior that isn't benefiting you. And now you can take that opportunity to shift it in these moments of this alkalosis breath work. It's a wonderful tool to allow yourself to move out of an experience that you no longer are choosing to move into. Now, when I say choosing to move into, the thing is that it's not necessarily a conscious decision. This is a lot of times like we don't want these things to be happening. It's a subconscious decision that our body, our nervous system, and some part of our subconscious mind is attached to. So that's where in these decisions we can consciously make the choice and use these tools to move ourselves out of it. So I highly, highly recommend trying Wim Hof breathing. I like to do it laying down. And also today, and I've done this before, but I haven't done it in a while, I actually put my arms over my head to bring more oxygen into my lungs. And I'm wondering if that's why I was able to hold my breath longer today. So I'm going to be experimenting with that. It's also a great way to just bring yourself out of any like mood that you're in. If you're feeling tired, if you're just not feeling good in general, it's a wonderful way to like if you have like a cold or a flu coming on, aside from anything else that you're already experiencing, but it's a great way to like bust that cold, especially if you catch it like right away. Like as soon as I start to recognize that I have like any type of sniffle or sore throat or cough or anything, I take my rescue remedies, but then I also do a couple rounds of breath work. So super, super powerful practices. It's something that I'm going to use as a tool for the rest of my life. And I don't do it every day at this point, but I did do it every day for a very long time. So I hope that this helps you in some way. If you're interested in learning more about what it is that I do, feel free to go over to my website at kimberlyharder.com or reach out to me if you have questions about coaching or energy work on Instagram at kimbers.new.frequency. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.